It's not that Zeev Buium wasn't viewed as a quality 2024 NHL draft prospect heading into his draft season. He was. It's just that I don't think many expected him to dominate college hockey the way he did as a freshman for the University of Denver Pioneers. Moving from the U.S. National Team Development Program in 2022-2023 to college in 2023-2024, Buium didn't just excel, he dominated. He put up a whopping 50 points in 42 games for Denver and quickly became their big minutes all situations blue liner again as a freshman, averaging nearly 26 minutes a night. And this isn't some middle-of-the-road college team either. Denver is a legitimate powerhouse, and they showed it this year. They made the Frozen Four. They upset BU in the first round of the Frozen Four. Macklin Celebrini, a stacked team, and then in the national championship game, took down the absolutely loaded and heavily favored Boston College team to win the national championship. That's right, Zeev Buium was basically the number one defenseman as a freshman on the national champions. After that kind of season, it's no surprise that Buium is no longer merely just viewed as a mid to late first round type of defenseman prospect. No, he's a guy who probably isn't even making it out of the top 10. So what are Zeev Buium's strengths? Well, pretty much everything, at least in college. Let's say that. He's good, if not great, at pretty much every aspect of the defenseman position, or at least he was in his freshman year at the University of Denver. There just isn't that much to nitpick. But if you're going to focus in on one strength, I would say his top trait is his hockey sense, his hockey IQ. Buium thinks the game at an extremely high level, both with and without the puck. He's always moving. He's always putting pressure on opponents, and he's always making the right play with the puck. And he's not just a thinker. He's one of the draft's most creative passers. He's capable of threading high-difficulty, highlight reel passes to teammates in the defensive zone, in the neutral zone, in the offensive zone. He has the ability to constantly impact games and create chances and goals. But it's not high risk all the time with him either. He knows when to prioritize just getting the puck out of the defensive zone cleanly, rather than just always going for the home run pass like some offensive defensemen. For Denver, Buium's defensive zone play, his defensive play as a whole, it was pretty solid as well. Maintains tight gaps and coverage when you watch him on tape, and he might not be huge. He's not small, but he's not huge. He's just about 6 foot. You see him throw hits. You see him battle in the corner. You see him battle in that front. He has the willingness to use the size that he has and the physicality and the strength that he has to play good defense. And then, of course, there's the production. Buium, and let's not overstate this, he delivered a legendary freshman season for Denver. It was the highest point per game rate for a freshman defenseman in 20 years. And then he came through in the postseason as well, taking a big role on the team that won the national championship. So after all that, what are Buium's weaknesses? Well, there aren't that many, at least not that many that are easy to see at the college level. But there are some, or at the very least, there are concerns about what parts of his game will translate to the NHL level and what parts of his game might not. For starters, Buium's skating isn't loved by everyone. It's certainly good. He has good straight line speed. He's not a bad skater, but it can lack explosiveness, especially from a stop position and especially in terms of his edge work and pivots. The concern with that mostly is that he does play a game where he's constantly weaving in and out of traffic. And there's some worries that without that explosiveness in terms of his edges, that he won't be able to succeed at the NHL level the same way he succeeds at the college level. He also doesn't exactly have a bomb of a shot. You're not going to be drafting him if you want a guy who's going to be scoring a ton of goals from the point at 5-on-5 and on the power play. He's definitely more of a natural distributor, and while he finds ways to get his shot through, it's certainly not overpowering. But again, the big worry from some scouts about Buium is that his particular style, what makes him so exceptional at the college level, won't be able to be replicated for him at the NHL level. And if that does prove to be the case, I don't envision a scenario where Buium busts completely, but he might not be the all situations dominant first pair defenseman that he certainly was at the college level and looks like he could be at the NHL level. My personal opinion, I think that Buium's smarts, his hockey IQ, his hockey sense, it'll allow him to learn ways to make his style work at the NHL level, even if the skating doesn't allow him to be quite as risky in terms of his pivots and his edges. To my eyes, Zeev Buium is the best defenseman prospect in this draft. He's the most complete. He has the fewest question marks. And if the offensive game translates, he could legitimately be a number one defenseman at the NHL level, in my opinion.
We all silly like the mayor.